This is the Galaxy Report for February 3rd, 2007, episode 66. Welcome to the Galaxy Report. I'm Freakasaka. My co-host this week is longtime show contributor Darth Sushi. Darth, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Long time since you've been on, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a while. Happy to be back.
Yeah, glad to have you. Before we get started, just want to let everyone know kind of where Josh and Gyron are. Gyron is officially fed up with talking about SWG again. So he's taking a break. Will he be back? I would probably say at some point. He knows the door is always open. Would be more than welcome to have him back at any time when it's convenient for him. And Josh, we've kind of run into a scheduling problem. He works a long day on Fridays. My only free day right now to do the shows on Friday. So I'm sure we'll be hearing more from him too as schedules change and we can get back together again. So in the meantime, Darce agreed to come on this week, fill in. He may be filling in more in the future, and we'll see what goes. We'll probably get some more people in here to kind of like a rotating co-host seat. So let's see how that goes. Got a lot for you this week. It's been a little while since we've done a show, so we have tons of stuff. We're going to go over what you've been doing, talk about entertainers, hollow bands, reverse engineering, crafting, House of Commons, the resource changes. Will we get to everything? I'm not sure. We're going to try to limit the show to about half hour, 45 minutes. That way we don't drag on anything too long. We'll get to as much as we can with as much as we know. And if we don't get to it this week, we'll be back next week to get to that. So, Darth, let's start with you. What you been doing in game lately?
Oh, not a whole lot. I've been pretty busy with work, and it's really detracting from my free time. I finally got in. I got on Test Center last night, I guess. Yeah, that's the first time I've been on Test Center since Chapter 4, I guess. I only go on when they're when they have new stuff out.
Right.
But it turns out I don't have any Master Crafters there on Test Center, so I have only combat stuff. So
you're kind of
going
stuck
on there. Yeah, and then in the main game, well, my guild pretty much disbanded and scattered to the wind. So
they just up and left you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Ooh.
Everyone's got other interests, and
Vanguard.
Yeah, I guess. Lord of the Rings, City of Heroes,
stuff like
every
that.
other damn thing. Eve, yeah. So fickle bitches.
I actually re-upped my WoW account. I think it was it last week or the week before? I played for about 3 days, and I think I'm done with it again. So
yeah, they never really convinced me to convert my trial to a paid account. So.
I like it for when I play it, but I can't get myself into it enough to actually keep going. As for Galaxies, it's been a little while since I've actually logged in. My account's been up for about a month now. I'm re-upping tomorrow. I want to hop on Test Center, start playing around, maybe with entertainer changes, and see how that goes. Crafting stuff, I'll probably have to wait till it hits live before I play around with that. But maybe we could check that out a little bit, see something on Test Center.
Definitely.
See how that goes. But other than that, I've been working through Resistance and Lost Planet. So that's what I've been up to.
How's Lost Planet?
I like Lost Planet. It's fun. It's kind of, if you go into it like expecting like an in-depth shooting, like a real thought. What's the word I'm looking for? It's arcadey. If you go into it expecting an arcadey shooter, you'll be very happy with it.
Gotcha.
And I got a brand new TV to play it on, so it looks awesome.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, 40-inch LCD.
I hate you.
It's wonderful. I'm a high-def whore right now. All right, so where should we start? You want to jump right into entertainers? That seems to be the thing that's fresh on everyone's mind.
Yeah, I guess.
The first thing that I think they came out with, I don't know. I just kind of have windows up everywhere right now with information. I have been paying attention, kind of like watching the forums, see what's going on. But the Build-A-Buff, that's the new thing that they have for the entertainers. And the way that looks to work is you pretty much ask the entertainer for a buff. They say, okay, they pull up a window. They're going to look through. They're going to pick things that, that you're looking for, that, maybe you're going to say, hey, I want some of this, some of that. Some of the things they have, I'm looking like on the picture off the Buff Builder from I believe it's the Comlink. They have like things agility, constitution, log precision, stamina, strength. Some of the other things they have, action cost reduction, critical hit, dodge, energy, kinetic. They can pick and choose. It looks like they have a total of 24 points. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe it's more. I'm not positive, but yeah, I'm looking right now. And
I'm looking at the window right now. Yeah, it's that looks interesting. I mean, it's whatever, custom tailored, whatever to whatever you want.
Yeah, it's like it's what a person wants. It's like, okay,
mix and match, a little Chinese menu.
Yeah.
So, that's cool.
The thing I really like about it is the cover charge, giving the entertainer the ability to say, hey, if you want this, it's going to cost you this much.
Absolutely.
It's not like the old BuffBot days or when people used to be able to trick doctors into thinking that they've been tipped and all that fun stuff.
The fake bank email.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never used that myself, but
yeah, I can tell by the laugh you haven't.
Yeah. It looks cool. The Build-A-Buff thing, I mean, it gives, more choice to the folks that are looking for the buffs. It gives more flexibility to the entertainer, and it looks to me like it'll be impossible to automate or to macro. So
yeah,
you'll have to go to a live entertainer, and the live entertainer can pay for it, can charge for it. It looks to me like everybody wins here.
Yeah, you have your at the keyboard entertainer, which everyone seems to want. Yeah, it looks good all around. I mean, I don't know how it's gonna if someone's gonna come up with a formula for like, okay, this is what you want to have, then everyone's gonna have the same buff.
Yeah, well, they'll probably be subject to a little bit of fine tuning, and customization as they move forward, because that happens with everything. Everyone, picks the one weapon, the one armor set, the one, set of food that everyone has to have, and then it becomes a formula.
Right. So we'll see how that goes. It definitely looks interesting. It's kind of more than what I expected them. I really didn't know where they were taking entertainers, and I think this is a pretty cool start. I mean, we have to see how it's implemented. Definitely get on Test Center. People need to check it out. Entertainers, you're the ones who have been, especially the entertainers who have been around for a long time, to still have their character even after after they've been stripped of everything. Get on there, test it out, and see if you like it, and let us know what you think too. Is like, do you like this? Is this what you were expecting? I've never actually had an entertainer that I've leveled up for anything. I know Gyron had an entertainer, but that was just so he could image design, and that wasn't on an alt account.
Oh, I had a master dancer back during, I guess it was even before the CU, for mind buffs, and because I wanted to drop a cantina. I wanted to own a cantina, so I had to grind a master entertainer up. So
that was your big thing you wanted?
Yeah, it was master dancer, master smuggler, so, I could slice stuff. And yeah, and then the mind buffs, because everything was about the blue bar.
Oh, yeah.
Pre-CU, so.
Good times.
Yeah, it was cool.
Let's see, what else do we have?
I did that AFK, by the way, just so everyone knows.
What entertainer didn't?
Exactly.
What about hollow bands? What are your thoughts on those?
It's cool. I don't know. I mean, I haven't really looked into the expertise trees in any great detail. If it's something that you got to spend an awful lot of points on, I don't know if I'd go that route. But I don't know. If you're an entertainer and you don't have anything else to spend points on, it certainly looks cool. Okay,
no, I didn't read that part. I mean, that's one thing I've kind of been, I haven't been, fully caught up on, is the hollow bands. That's actually something that I have to choose in their expertise tree.
I thought so. Yeah. Maybe not. I don't know. For some reason. I thought that it was something. I thought it was a box that was fairly high up in the expertise tree, but I you know what? I might be mistaken.
Doing that might alleviate some of my fears. I'm afraid of a busy cantina being filled with people and hollows dancing everywhere, and it just being a complete lag fest.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think entertainers, they're two trees, or one is geared towards, whatever, singing and dancing, and then the other one is geared towards their new fighting stuff, their new combat skills. Is
there a lot to it? The way they made it sound from the House of Commons chat, it was pretty much, they said there's going to be punching and kicking, but it wasn't going to be your TKA style.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Not rough, not quite equivalent to what TKA was in pre-CU or even in the CU. So,
oh man, be good to get someone from a test center on. Maybe I'll hunt Cactus down next week and have him on when you're not here. So he's probably tested all that out.
Yeah. Well, they're getting force push too, so that pisses the Jedis off, which is a good thing.
Entertainers are getting force push?
Yeah, they're getting some melee attack that does damage from 20 meters out or something like that. It was roughly equivalent to force push, which evidently Jedi don't currently have force push.
That makes absolutely no sense to me.
I really haven't read that much detail into it.
Wow. See, that's what's good. We throw this stuff out there. I'm sure people will correct us when we mess up, and we'll actually be able to figure out what the heck's going on.
Exactly.
What else? Anything else with entertainers? Is that all we have on them?
What do we got? We got holobands. We got expertise. That's about it.
Oh, the one thing I liked is one of the benefits of having a camp out is entertainers will be able to give their performances at camps.
Yeah,
same
that's
as
cool.
In the cantina.
Glad camps are coming back. That's cool.
Are those on Test Center? That's something we should check out.
I don't know. Today's Friday feature, I think, was camps. But I don't know if they're on Test Center yet or not.
I really dug that picture of the camping. The published gift.
The published gift?
Yeah, what was the caption for it? It was something like friends sitting there having
around
fun.
The camp, and and they had fun.
I wonder if that was Helios' last hurrah.
I don't know. I don't know whether that's done tongue in cheek, or whether it's supposed to be irony, or whether somebody's bitter about the whole thing. I mean, there's an inside joke there somewhere.
Oh, they definitely had to do that on purpose. I couldn't see I couldn't see it being that much of a coincidence.
Yeah.
Good times though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. Let's start talking about the crafting. We got a lot of crafting changes too coming up, and one of the things is reverse engineering. We're actually getting to see what the whole reverse engineering plan is. I really like the looks of it at first. It seems to have changed up a bit from what they originally had stated when they first started giving us the Friday features on it, and I don't know if I like it as much anymore. But basically what it looks like is you can loot a piece of, say, like armor. It's going to have your agility, your constitution, those stats to it. The crafter will be able to reverse engineer it, get these power bits from it. They're going to be able to take these power bits, mix them together, and make new, I would say almost like super skill enhanced, skill armor attachments, skill enhancement attachments, things like that. And then you'll be able to attach them to, armor, clothes, and weapons?
Yeah.
Okay. And there's some that are like power-ups that last a certain amount of time, and there's other ones that are pretty much permanent but can be reverse engineered off?
Yeah, that's my understanding, is that I think the clothing and armor ones are more or less permanent, and then the weapon ones become consumables.
Okay.
Or something. And I don't know if that's entirely true, because there's a lot of information out there on it.
Yeah, I've been, like I said, I've been sifting through, looking, and I mean, you can't catch everything, so.
Yeah.
The one thing I didn't like about it, like when they first came out with it, I really liked the idea that it sounded like I was going to be able to go around. I was going to be able to get these different power bit attachments, and I would be able to take them, and I would be say I had a piece of clothing that had 4 slots on it. I could take those different pieces and drop them into the slots and kind of mix and match my own. I would still be getting them from the entertainer or the crafter, but I would be able to do the mixing and matching on my own. Now
as a customer.
Right. okay, I've brought you this. You've manufactured these different ones. I picked the ones I wanted. Now let me put together put them in the slots. Well, they've kind of gone away with that. Now all of them have one slot. And
the whole reduction to one socket thing has been pretty controversial.
Yeah, that's something I really don't like. That it's like now you have to go to the crafter, you give them the piece that they're going to reverse engineer. They're going to take the stuff out of it. Hopefully, they have what you want. They're going to put it together, and then you can attach it, the one piece to something. And what I don't, I'm kind of mixed on this because I don't want to make it sound like going to the crafter is a bad thing to have to do that. But what I liked was the idea before that I was going to be able to mix and match stuff from different crafters around. Now people are going to be selling like all of like 3 of these, and everything's going to be like, okay, you're going to have this attach, like this enhancement, this power bit that has these 3 stats or these 4 stats, or
right.
And there's going to be less. And even if I do go mixing and matching from different crafters, I still have to take that all back to a crafter to get them to
and have them do the final. Yeah, exactly. It's sort of like that whole old model with the smuggler slicing, where you got to give it all up to the smuggler, and then the smuggler slices it, gives it back to you. It's that whole. I would have just as soon been able to let the crafters make whatever the crafters make, and then let me just buy that off the vendor and mix and match them however I want.
Now I wonder what the problem was with between the why they dropped it down from, instead of having like 4 sockets where you could put one of each thing in it, to okay, no, you can only have 1 socket, but you can have these power bits that have 3 skills to it.
Yeah, I read the rationale for that. I just forget where, and I don't remember exactly what the answer was, but they did explain why. And I guess the side effect of that is that there was a +1 socket feature in one of the trader expertise lines that they have to get rid of now and replace with something else, because nothing will have more than 1 socket. So
yeah, it makes me think that there's possibly some exploits happening. Maybe like internally they found something.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's complicated database stuff on the back end, so maybe they found some unintended consequence. I'm not exactly sure.
We like to think that's the reason.
Yeah, it had something to do with them pulling. Oh, gee, I don't remember. It made sense when I read it. I don't remember where I read it. It might have been in the Senate, which means it's I can't talk about it.
Right.
But whatever. Or it might have been on the public boards, and I just don't remember where I saw it. But they justified it. It made sense, and I said, okay, we'll see how it works.
And I mean, and you're still going to get pretty much the same stuff you could get before. Now you just rely on the crafter a little bit more, which isn't all that bad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for player interdependency, as long as it's not forced and contrived. And like I said, we'll have to see how this plays out. I mean,
what's kind of nice about this too is it's not like the old system where crafters kind of ran the economy and like they dictated everything. They were the ones who were like, okay, we make this stuff. These are the prices. They could have enough skills where enough combat skills where they could go out, get to their harvesters, get all the stuff. A crafter really didn't rely on a combat tune.
Yeah, and that's the kind of interdependency that I think we need. And people, have been dinging the NGE for, over a year now for moving away from a player-created economy to a loot-based economy. And to a certain extent, that was true. But that was the pendulum swinging to the other end from what it was before, where the crafters pretty much had a stranglehold on everything.
Yeah, this is nice because it kind of balances it out more. It's like, okay, now they need the combat tunes to bring them this stuff so they can make the stuff for the combat tunes.
I think it equalizes pretty nicely.
We hope so. At least on paper it does.
Yeah, like I said, in theory, it makes sense. So.
Oh, man, they get like reverse engineering tools. There's whole tutorials.
Yeah, that whole thing with the power this and that's and the whatever bits and the first, second, and third order, blah, blah, blah. It looks going to take a
bit complicated.
Yeah, I hope it plays a little bit easier than it reads, because it sounds complicated.
Yeah, it looks like looking at a lot of menus. And I don't know.
Don't get me wrong. I don't mind reading, and I don't mind complexity. I just,
Can't they just give me voiceovers?
Yeah,
isn't that what we all want, anyways?
Yeah. Like I said, well, like, as long as it plays intuitive. I mean, reverse engineering for Starship components is cool, but it's also, it seems to be a lot more simplistic than what they've described for ground-based reverse engineering. Starship components, you just drop whatever 7 engines in and hit presto, and you get all the best stats off of all 7, and a new level 7 engine comes out. And that's pretty straightforward. There's not a whole lot of thought or randomization to it. This whole thing with the new 5,000 new different combinations for skill, I was like, oh, Jesus. Why do we have to make it a mystery? Why does it have to be random and hidden?
We like complexity, but sometimes there's a little too much, but
yeah,
it may all work out. We just
I don't, I don't really call myself a crafter, in terms of my gameplay. I mean, I have an armor smith and I have a tailor, and I use them for, basically outfitting my combat character. So, so I don't really feel competent or qualified to speak on behalf of the crafting and trading community. So, it looks okay to me so far.
The one thing that seems nice about it is if you go out and say you loot a really cool piece of armor and you like the stats on it and you want to use that, you can go to, at this point, because Thunderheart kind of made a comment about it before where, if you got a piece of armor, you could go and have like a crafter make you a matching set. But of course it wouldn't have all the stats. It wouldn't be as good as the looted piece. Now you can get a looted piece and you can go to crafters and you can have them craft like nice looking armor to match it. So we're going to get away from everyone looking like clowns, with their mismatched gear.
And that's long overdue too.
Yeah. Let's see what else we have. We have the trader expertise. That I've started looking at this a few times, and then I kind of get scared from there. That's one thing I don't like about the expertise is like the graphics to it. I think are somewhat confusing. Not really confusing. I just don't think it's hard to follow. They're not as pretty as the skill trees were.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's the bonus socket that they're going to be getting rid of.
Yeah, they had to get rid of that. So.
I don't know. It just seems like a lot of what I was mostly disappointed in this is. This is nice for the traders. I was really hoping with the revamp to the traders that they would split up the subgroups of traders and let people pick, okay, you pick 2. You can be a tailor shipwright, or you can be an architect weapons.
I rallied so hard for that. That was one of the biggest complaints I had when I was actually when they flew us to Austin to actually preview the NGE. Was this the arbitrary pairings of the crafters? I've been complaining about that for a year, and it pissed me off because I had that's why I have a tailor and an armor smith now, is because originally I had a tailor / armor smith, which is not a possible combination. I know a lot of folks.
Given any reason for it?
Folks want to be shipwright and droid engineer, not shipwright and architect.
Right.
I mean. So, I want to be a weaponsmith and a bartender. Why not? And I've never received what I consider a decent answer on why they did that. And it's one of the lingering things that really pisses me off about the way that was implemented. Is it was just, first off, it just seems arbitrary, and then it also eliminates player choice and in customizing.
Well, it seems like for no good reason here.
Well, yeah, and I don't know what the reason is, and I've never had anybody explain to me why that was necessary. I was really hoping. I was really hoping with the advent of the expertise system that they could just. I was, and we've talked about this before. I mean, probably 6 months ago, or one of the earlier times I was on the show, is that one of my big hopes for the expertise system was that what they would do is fall back to this base crafter, artisan, merchant type character, and then you could use the expertise to pick which crafting trees, which specialties you actually wanted to get your expertise in, so that if like if I wanted to go back to my tailor/armor smith, I could do that via the expertise system. And when I found out they weren't going that route, I was really disappointed. I think it's a lost opportunity. So.
Yeah, it's like, what are they going to do? Revisit this again in 6 months, 8 months? I mean,
yeah. People say, well, if we had 12 different crafting professions, we'd have to have 12 different crafting forums, and that's just too complicated.
Yeah,
then we'd have 12. It's not. It's the core issues are the same. I mean, they build stuff. They have schematics. They need resources. All of these things are pretty much common to all of them. To all crafting and trading, if I'm not mistaken. I mean,
right.
The ones that I have. So I don't see what that. I don't understand why it's necessary to keep them. Well, I understand that it would be difficult for them to undo it now, because that might actually be some complicated programming to undo it at this point. Why they did it in the first place makes no sense to me, and has always pissed me off.
Man, you summed up everything beautifully there. All my thoughts. You okay now?
I could be wrong.
No, I don't think so on this one. I think there's probably a few people that are playing the game that agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, expertise. Once we get to play with it more, we'll know more. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell. You look at this stuff and it's like increases the assembly skill mod for the specified profession.
Well, what the hell does assembly do? You know? I mean, I don't know. Experimentation meant more before the NGE, and then they went. I mean, God, when they went with the single line of experimentation for armor smithing, God, that pissed a lot of people off.
Yeah.
So,
the one question I asked for the House of Commons chat that they didn't answer was, I want to know, after Chapter 5, will crafted items be on the same level or better than what can be looted? That's like one of the main things I want to know. Are they going to be the best in the game?
Well, that's one of the complaints coming off Test Center right now, is that weaponsmiths don't have a level 90 weapon, or level 88 or something like that. They don't have there's no high-est level weapon for them to craft. So we'll see how that plays out.
Are there any new schematics coming? Have they talked
That's
about?
What I hear, that there are a lot of new schematics coming. I have no idea what they are, but I hear that everyone's getting new schematics.
Okay. That's a plus.
Somebody out there must be tracking. If they're actually enabled on Test Center yet, somebody must be tracking them. I'm only seeing the bug reports so far. But like I said, I don't have a master crafter on Test Center, so I couldn't find out for myself. I guess they also I read in the latest Test Center patch from today's notes that they're re-enabling the risk quest for armor smiths, which I guess has been impossible to complete for some time.
A few years.
I guess, yeah.
Nice. Well, it's good to get back to that stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else do we have? House of Commons chat. I was there. They didn't answer any of my questions. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate that.
I have never logged in for an HOC chat. I always just wait for the recap.
This one seemed to go by really fast. It started a bit late, and then at times it would be like a question was asked, and you'd wait like 5-6 minutes, and they'd answer. Then they'd answer like 2 other ones right after that. And
then, they got to run all the questions past the lawyers at LucasArts.
Yeah. Is this okay? it just seemed like a really... I don't know.
They got him online from his cell phone in his hot tub. Can we tell him what we're doing?
No.
No, you may not.
Let me ask my magic neck fat. No new legacy content. That really disappointed me.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, there's a lot going on. I mean, you can't really be disappointed with, whatever.
Well, I am when we
lack of coverage in Publish 5. So,
right, but when we haven't had any legacy updates since what was it, August?
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, really, there's been.
Was that when they did the one with the where you could get the dripping alien egg? Was that that long ago?
Yep, that was in August.
Damn.
I believe was that the August or was that the? Yeah, that was the August.
Okay. Yeah, that's been a while then, huh?
Yeah. So we're not really going to see any new questing content until probably April. It's a long time to go. And of course, there's all the rumors of expansions and everything. So.
Yeah, well, I guess there's going to be a whole bunch of conspiracy theory with the annual song and dance over the license renewal, because that happens every February.
Oh yeah, that's coming up.
There's always a lot of drama associated with it. So
we should start that now.
Well,
our inside sources say.
Yeah. Well, I guess there was some piece of PR press release or whatever that came out from LucasArts back. I guess it was around Comic-Con or something, maybe back in July, where they were talking about expansions, continued expansions for Galaxies and what that meant, and everyone parsing the text as to whether that meant that there was going to be like a new expansion box release, or whether that just meant that they were going to keep pushing out legacy content for free.
Well, I mean, we expect them to come out with an expansion.
That was the deal. The deal with them, no expansion for 06 was so they could do bug fixing and polish.
They did it. They did a hell of a job in 06 getting a lot of stuff cleaned up and bugs fixed and expertise out. And they did. The first part of 06, they gave us a ton of content. So
absolutely.
Unfortunately, you can breeze through a lot of that with a character pretty quickly.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Legacy Quest isn't really a challenge if you're going back and doing it retroactively as a level 90. So.
Even if you're doing it as an up-and-coming tune, it's not really that challenging until you get to the last part.
Yeah.
I can
see if you're starting out as... Have you done it from the beginning?
Yeah, I did it from the beginning with a brand new tune.
I made the mistake of doing it, with a level 90, and I just couldn't bring myself to repeat it.
Yeah.
Which is another thing that irritates me. It's great content, but it's pretty damn linear.
Yeah. But I think that's kind of what people want for leveling. They want the missions that kind of like lead them along to something else. Do this to do this to do this to do this. So I don't know.
I have no major complaints about that.
No, it's good stuff. I just want to see more of it now. Hopefully after Chapter 5 then.
Yeah, so if we left off with the alien eggs, where does that level cap off at? Was that like at level 42 or something ish?
I got to I was 50.
Okay.
When I was done.
Yeah, because there's this big void between like level 50 and level 70 where it's like there's nothing to do, right?
That's what killed it for me. I got to 50. I started leveling my tune. I got to 50. Got done with Legacy. There's stuff on Cache I can do, but it's like, okay, I can do a couple missions on Cache, and then I just I've like run the line of what I can do up to a certain point, and I either have to get a bunch of people, like I have to get like a couple level 90s to go with me, which then I get no experience points for. Right.
That's the other thing, is the whole group XP. They got to do something about that so that, when you're grouped with somebody who's significantly higher than you, that it's still worth it for you to go out,
Right. And people complain about like the Legacy Quest being linear. I think that's kind of what this game needs, is a little more leading you through with the content, or at least like mini story arcs, because a lot of it's like the stuff on Cache, it's like you do a couple things here, a couple things there, and you're kind of bouncing all over the place. I mean, maybe like when you get in the Mindril Caves, you have a little more storyline, but I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, I like those multi-chapter arcs that they had, like the Cries of Alderaan and the Secrets of the Siren and all that. I thought that stuff was cool.
Yeah.
And I wish we had more of it.
The stuff that was going to come out every month?
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Way back when.
Food Additives coming back, Chapter 5 from House Comics.
Yeah, chefs are happy about that, right?
Oh, yeah. Isn't there something like they're bringing back bioengineer somehow? Like, not totally, but like at least, they're bringing back the food additives, so I don't know.
That was one of the things that they were talking about that it was one of those, it was like it was one of those posts that everybody went bananas on, where it might have been Helios was thinking hypothetically about some things that could be done, and was it bioengineering was one of them?
Oh yeah,
some form of creature handling that wouldn't be called creature handler was one of them.
beast mastery.
Right. And I forget what the other one was. Yeah, I have a buddy that quit because he was a droid engineer, and all he ever wanted to do was to be able to command an army of battle droids. And I saw him last week, and I said, they're making it so droid engineers can actually make battle droids, and he says, "Can I command an army of them?" I was like, "Probably not. Oh, I'm not coming back."
I'm sure if you got enough people to, give them commands for you, you could make it almost seem like it.
Yeah. Well, that's why I liked it back when you could have, 3, pets out at a time.
3 pre-nerf probots.
Yeah.
Let's see what else is.
Well, I didn't like 3 AT-ATs. I thought that was overkill. Or STs.
Yeah. 3 Rancors.
Right. 2 Grawl Maulers.
Let's see. I don't know. I think we pretty much summed up the good stuff about the chat. I mean, there's some information, especially if you... Maybe,
was there any useful information came out of the chat? Because, it's really just usually a bunch of non-answers.
Yeah, I mean, they did. I thought they did a good job of answering the questions. The questions were very on topic. So that was good. That's where I got the camps that entertainers can use them. Same as a cantina. So that would be a definite plus.
Good.
Yeah, I think that's about it. I mean, it was all pretty much recapping a lot of stuff that they had talked about before, and just kind of answering any questions about the actual Chapter 5 content that's already pretty much answers to stuff that's already out there.
Yeah.
Heard there's a big change.
I mean, there's never anything new in a Stratix chat, right? I mean, it's always just a recap of something that they've already put on the forums.
Every time they sneak something in there in between the look for the website at the website for future updates. Yeah. Resources, changing the way they stacked. People seem pretty happy about this.
Oh, yeah, 1 million item stacks. That's huge.
Yeah.
It's going to clear out some inventory.
Great. Now people are just going to stock up even more stuff. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah, sure.
I guess it's good especially for like a high level crafter who
Yeah, if you're a high volume crafter, it's a godsend.
Which I have to apologize to someone. I think the last time we did the show, I made fun of them for they had mentioned one of the things about that they liked best about 2006 was they opened up a store with their buddy, and I laughed at them and said, "Did they actually make money?" And he said, "Yeah, they made a ton of money." And I asked for some, and they said I couldn't because I made fun of them. So I apologize. Can I have some money? I don't know. We kind of glossed over everything. Is there anything else you can think of that we may have missed or?
Nothing really jumps out at me. I mean, Chapter 5 covers a lot of a part of the game that I don't really have a whole lot of expertise in or knowledge of or interaction with. So.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I'm definitely going to be pulling on Cactus's chain saying, "Hey, you're coming in here. You're going to talk about this. You're the crafter, man." I guess we should take a moment to say goodbye to Helios. We don't know if he's actually gone or not. But from the post today, it sounds like he's no longer lead designer of Star Wars Galaxies. Was it Blixtev has taken his spot, or?
Yeah, that's what I hear. Blix. Yep.
So he's taken Helios' spot as lead designer. I don't know what that means. It just means that Helios is no longer the man behind it. So another one I haven't seen around in a while is Rogue 5. You had mentioned something. You said that he was online today, but.
Yeah, I saw him pop on the forums today, but I haven't heard anything out of him in quite some time. I guess he's still the producer for the game on the Sony side. I don't know. I get the from my brief visit to the office there back during the NGE preview, and even talking to them in the Senate forums and at the Fan Fest and stuff. I get the impression that a lot of the day-to-day goings on at SOE it really has nothing to do with the forums at all. So, I mean, just because they're not logging into the forums doesn't mean that they're not really busy working on stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, the only time, I mean, there are a few key players that we see pop onto the forums with some regularity, but that only constitutes a very small fraction of the folks that are actually involved with the development and design of the game.
I think it's really nice to see people like Hans and Addy. They've been. Who else has been on there a lot? Toonso, is that how you say it?
Dev H.
Yeah, I mean,
Tunso,
they've been doing a really good job coming out. Especially, we had that period of quiet around Christmas, and then they came back and.
Well, they crawl out of the woodwork during when they're doing beta for an expansion. I mean, like all of them will come out. So you'll see 30, dev introductions, and sometimes that'll be the only post they ever make.
Right.
So
waiting for Smed's follow up from last year's.
Yeah, I read on the forums that somebody was saying that Smed got fired, or he got promoted away from Star Wars Galaxies and is now working somewhere else in Sony.
Smed? Is he the president?
And so the next post after that was like, Smed's the president, Targ. You don't get promoted away from that. It's getting close to about time for him to, drink a Red Bull and come back on the forums.
Yeah, he's probably been pretty busy. I mean, being president of SOE, he's probably had a lot to do with like the PlayStation 3 store and all that, and their whole online feature. So,
Vanguard launching.
Yeah.
And all that. Well, and I guess so. We're getting our new forums this week, evidently.
Oh.
So I hope you saved everything.
Conspiracy theorists. They want to hide everything pre-CU.
Yeah.
I hope there's an auto ban for anyone who says pre-CU.
God, I hope so too. Whatever. I hope the new forums allow for some more flexibility of moderation.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
See. What's going to be a zoo is that 2-day window where there's just one forum for everybody to go bananas in.
It's going to be a mess.
I'm not even going to bother logging in those days.
Actually play the game. That's what we'll do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that just about sums up this week. We've got a lot to cover, like I said. Probably didn't get to everything, but over the next few weeks, we'll be going into more depth in a lot of these as we find out more information and get our hands on it and actually get to test this stuff out, find out what's working and what's not. So, Darth, I want to thank you for joining me this week.
Thanks for having me.
We always love having you on here. Want to let all the listeners know, check out our website, thegalaxyreport.com. We have our forums up there. We've had some discussion going on there lately. Kind of been going back and forth on the the player economy. What's it going to do? Take it back? Do we think this will work? So hop on in there. Give us your thoughts. You can email us at thegalaxyreport@yahoo.com. Any ideas you have for topics, questions, and we want a theme song for the show. We want to know what you guys think. The only thing that we've really had any serious feedback on was the Imperial March that we've played in a past show. So it's kind of like rock. I think Metallica played it or something, or so they say. So that seems the only serious candidate right now. But if you have any ideas, check out our forums and put it on there. So thanks everyone for listening, and we'll see you all next week.
If you are enjoying the Star Wars fan audio production you're listening to right now, then don't stop there. Come see what the excitement is about at the